So welcome to Kolkata, and how does it feel to be back in the city of joy, also city of culture?
Well, it lives up to its name and expectation every time, and I just think that not only is it a place of art, culture, and so much love and joy, but I also think that some of the best connoisseurs of art and culture are also from here. So I think that it's great to be back. Every opportunity I get to come back and return to Kolkata, I grab it with both my hands, and I think that yeah, it's just a pleasure to be performing in front of my guru and in front of all of you.
Your journey is itself very fascinating. So I believe it wasn't an easy road, with a lot of hard work. So if you could talk about a little bit of the challenges initially.
Well, I mean, even today there are challenges we face because somehow I think my community has been categorized or compartmentalized into people believing that we can't do this or can't do that. And I just think that, when you tell me you can't do this, is exactly what I turn around and do. I break and shatter the ceilings and the barriers that are man-made. I don't think the supreme powers have created any barriers like this, that you can't enter this place, you can't sit at this table. Well, after a point, I realized that I don't want to sit at these tables. I'll create my own. And so, when I created these opportunities, thanks to people like Usha, here we are.
My next question was about Usha. You mentioned in the stage like how she had inspired you and motivated. If you could just talk about a little bit about her.
Yeah, she was the first person I actually saw live as a 15-year-old, and then as a 16-year-old, I actually performed with her on stage. She just called me on stage, and I sang the exact same song, Whitney Houston's "I Will Always Love You." It's one of the toughest songs I've ever sung on stage. And as every time I hit that high note, is you see Ushama, thrilled like a small child, and that's the happiness I live for. So yeah, she's always been an angel. She'll always be that for me.
In this journey, who has been your biggest motivation, or what has really inspired you to all this?
I think
Kept you going.
what has kept me going is the smile on my parents' face. So every time I return home, I think it's if you're lucky enough to have parents, अगर आपके माता पिता हैं जो आपकी देखभाल करते हैं, आपकी रक्षा करते हैं, I think the best thing is when you go back to them and you see them smile and proud of you. I don't think there is anything else I have experienced, and I've experienced a lot in my 35 years alive. I don't think anything, it gives me that much mania. It gives me so much happiness.
My last question will be: how do you see the perception of society towards LGBT community or the transgender community? Has it changed over the years?
Well, policies have changed, governments have changed, and whether this government or the earlier government have always tried to do their best in creating policies. I would say that now the ball is in our court. We need to be more sensitized. We need to make an effort to understand that I'm as human as you are. I'm not breathing transgender air, or I'm not drinking transgender water. I'm doing the same, and I'm a productive member of society. In fact, I've fallen the highest tax paying slab of the country. So I don't see why anyone should look at me any different. If anything else, I'd like a red carpet everywhere I go. But no. But we don't want anything extra. We just want equal rights. That's all.
Thank you for this wonderful chat.
That's what is suddenly orgasmic to all of us. Equal rights. It shouldn't be. The dichotomy is that we live in a democratic and an equal nation on paper, but you see the sad reality is not too many intersections there. I think that it now falls on our court. It's on the responsibility is on us.
Thank you so much.